Okay, so in order to pick stocks, what we're going to do is we're going to use historical prices, and we're going to assume that as time goes on, the stock price is going to go up and down. And overall, it's going to have a trend. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot the prices on versus a timeline, and then we're going to add a trend line. And we're going to say that when the stock price is above the trend line, that it's overvalued, and when it's below the trend line, that's when it's undervalued. So when the stock price is down here, then it's a good time to buy. When it's up here, then it's a good time to sell. Um, so we're going to start with a one that I've already set up. So this one here is a downloaded stock price. I can't remember which stock it is, but that's okay. Now in the cells that come with this, we've got the date, and so this column is the date. So the most recent is going to be at the top, and the furthest down is the oldest is going to be at the bottom. We have the closing price, the volume, how many times that the stock was traded, what the price was when it opened, what the highest price of the day, and the lowest price of the day. We're interested in the closing price, so we're going to copy this entire cell column, and we're going to paste it into sheet 7. So we're going to delete that right there, and we're going to paste right here. Okay, so we don't need these two cells where it says close and blank. We don't need those, so we're going to delete those. All right, and now we're going to, because this is the most recent and the oldest is at the bottom, we want that order reversed. So what we're going to do is we're going to give each cell a number. And basically what we're saying is this is how many days it has been occurred. And this is the date of the oldest cell, and we're going to say that is 6/1/18. Right. And now we're going to rearrange this so that the oldest is at the top and the newest is at the bottom. In order to do that, we're going to go to Data. We're going to sort. We're going to sort by column B from largest to smallest. Hit OK. All right. Now we have the oldest prices at the top, and this column here is 25/19. So we're going to go to the historical quotes again. We're going to figure out how old this is. What's the oldest time? So 6/2. That's the oldest date. So we're going to input that there. 6/2/8. And now we're going to rearrange this column so that it's once again the lowest numbers in order. So 1, 2. And we're going to highlight the first two cells and double click on that. It's going to bring it down. All right. Now we're going to convert, so we have the oldest price on the first day. And now we're going to convert this from days into years. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to insert a new column. And we're going to say each day is 1/251st of a year. So there's 251 days in a year. The reason we're using 251 and not 365 is these stock prices aren't active on weekends and holidays. So say equals 1 divided by 251. Now all we got to do is double click on the square again, and we've filled out the column. So now we're going to insert our plot. So we'll go to Insert, Scatter Plot. Excellent. Now we have our chart, and not all our data has been put on, only column C has been put onto this chart, so we're going to have to select data by right-clicking on the plot of the chart. And the x values is going to be the time, so we want that to go from 1 to 25/19. So we're going to click there, it's 1, so now we've got 1, 2, and we're just going to fill in 25/19. Say enter. And the y values are going to be the price. So again, 1, 2, 5/19. We're going to say enter. That looks good. Say OK. All right, and this price, it seems to follow a linear path right here. Now, everything going up to that doesn't really follow that path, so it's going to make our line a little bit weird. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete everything that goes up to here. Now, for starters, let's add a chart element. Let's put in our trend line, linear. So as you can see, the trend line doesn't necessarily follow the data, as it were. So we're going to delete everything up to around 3.49. So we're going to find 3.49. We're looking in column C. And it would appear the lowest price is going to be on day 878. We've got 2.85. So we're going to stop right here. And we're going to delete. Oh no. We're going to delete all these cells. So let's go up. Excellent. All right. We're going to right click and we're going to delete. And it's going to give us the option if we want to shift cells left or up. We want to shift cells up. Let's go back to the top so we can see what we've done. All right. And let's change this. So now that the graph starts at 2.85, we're going to change that to day 1. And as you can see, the trend line definitely follows more along the path of the graph. So we're going to change this to 1, 2, highlight those and bring them down. Excellent. So now what we want to do is we want to double click on the trend line, and that will open up our format trend line. It's going to give us the option to display the equation on the chart. So our equation here is y equals 0.8696 times x plus 3.3313. Now, it can be that this will be a little bit hard to read, and we can adjust that by just highlighting the vertical axis, going to format axis options. In our axis options, we can adjust the maximum. So we're going to lower that down to, say, 7. There we go. And now it's much easier to read that. So we're going to insert a column here because remember, this column has the date, the newest date. So we're going to insert a column. And this column is going to be the price that we're saying what the stock is currently valued at. So we're going to say this is equal to 0.8696 times C1. So C is going to be the column of how many years we've got, and then we're going to add 3.3313. And that's it. Okay. Double click there and follow that all the way down. All right, so now we have an idea of what the price is and what the price should be. But now we want to be able to compare that to other stocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this as a percentage. So we're going to insert another cell and say this cell is equal to the initial price divided by what the value is. We're going to multiply that by 100 to make that a percentage. So we're saying that this cell is the oldest point when it was initially $2.85 a share was selling at about 85% of its value. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a distribution analysis. Now, if you don't have data analysis, you can go to Tools, which would be up in your higher toolbar, and you can go to Excel add-ins, and that should give you the analysis tool pack and the solver add-in. You would want to select the analysis tool pack for this. I'm just going to say OK there, and you should find it under Data and Data Analysis. We're waiting for this to open. Alright, so now that we have data analysis open, we're looking for descriptive statistics, input range. So what we're measuring here is the range of values of the percentages. So we're going from, and what we can do is alright, the entire data cell is 1642, but if descriptive statistics can take more cells than that, so we can say it goes to 2600, and we'll basically these blank cells will basically be ignored, and that'll be okay. right, we want to make sure that summary statistics is selected. I'm going to say OK. This is going to take us to a new sheet has been opened, and here is an analysis of the data that we've created. So what we're looking at, some significant numbers here, is the mean. We want that to be around 100. The standard deviation, this is a measurement of how far above and below 100% we're expecting it to be valued at. And the count, this is how many cells, how many days that the stock has been trading. So we're going to copy this. We're going to bring it back to the sheet that we just made. And we're going to paste it here. We're going to move our chart over to the side so that we can read our information. And from here we have a variety of information that we can utilize to help us make our good decisions. So how we're going to eliminate these stocks is based on the standard deviation, how far above and below the stock price they go, because we're going to want this to be a large number. So if it's got a standard deviation in the 30s, that would mean that you would buy at 70% value and sell at 130% value. If the higher your count is that follows your model number, that's going to give you a more consistent model. So those are the two numbers that we're going to use to eliminate stocks that would be our preference. I'm planning on updating another video that has another model. It's going to be very similar, but it will be instead of using a linear analysis, it's going to use an exponential analysis. So that will give us a rate. All right, so now that we have this information, we're going to update our stock pick sheet. So now I would normally keep this in a separate tab in a separate Excel sheet, but for simplification of this video, I put it onto this sheet so that all we have to do is flip it over to the tab. So this is sheet 7, and we no longer need sheet 10 here, so we're just going to delete that. So this is pick number 7, and sigma is the Greek letter that is commonly used for standard deviation. So in many circles, when you see standard deviation, it's going to be represented by the Greek letter sigma. So our standard deviation is 8.923. So we're going to put that in here. And our count is 1,642. We're going to insert that into our picks. And here we're going to insert the price and the percent that it's currently selling at. So drop down to cell 1642. There we are. And we're currently selling at $8.24. 8.24. And what percentage is that currently at? So that's currently at 91.351. So 91.352. And this is the table that we've created. We can make decisions on which stocks we want to keep, which stocks we want to get rid of, which stocks we want to buy. The way we can do that is we can sort the entire thing. We'll just hit sort, and as you can see, it's highlighted everything. So as you can see, all these cells have been highlighted. So we're going to sort by the count, and we're going to go largest to smallest. Say OK. All right, now from here we can see that stock number 6 has 2,230 days that has been going on that it's been following its model. Stock number 3 has 612 days that it's been following its model. So this one I would call the least reliable model. So I would eliminate stock 3 out of this group. You can also sort by sigma, again, largest to smallest. And now, as you can see, stock number 7 has a standard deviation of 8.923, standard deviation or sigma. And so from there, number 7 would be a stock that I would eliminate, because basically what we're saying here is that you would buy it around 90% and sell it around 109%, which is not a large difference as compared to some of these other ones. So this is one of the methods that I choose to make stocks. I'm going to update. The next video is going to have exponential growth, so we will get a growth rate that will also be able to sort those on. All right, and thank you for watching.